I still recommend Castrol best. Ow. So, you bought the Mazda Biante. Congratulations. That says something about you. It means you have this desire for uniqueness, space, and probably you've heard about the reliability of Mazda vehicles. People who buy these cars usually have bigger families and have the desire to move around more people, and they want to do it comfortably. So you'll find that they look for cars like those. Or you could have found that you bought it because you found it cheap on the internet. Most people though, however, buy cars without any knowledge of their maintenance and schedules. Even if they might have an idea, they do not endeavor to read the owner's manual. Now, I get it. Many used cars imported into our country get here without any user manual. So that leaves you with your mechanic or a service station that will use lubricants that they are familiar with and quantities that they think are ideal for the car that you drive. Now, the fact that you are watching this is a good sign that you want the best for your car and have trusted Africa's UG to give you accurate information. So, hey, why don't you hit that subscribe button, share the link, like the video. Now, I'm no mechanic. However, I'll just guide you according to the manufacturer's recommended maintenance based on the owner's manual. Sadly, this car was released only in Japan and a few Asian markets, and so its user manual is only in Japanese. Hey, but let's give it a try. You know, we could find something. The Mazda engine is run by a timing chain, the 2.0 MZR, which Mazda says is maintenance free, meaning it will run until the engine dies, which is about 250,000 kilometers. That's what people say anyway. But I'm sure if you do your service, it could go further. I've seen Mazda cars with more than 250,000 kilometers and they're still going. Now, this car uses a direct injection system, unlike the 2.3 liter engine, which uses a sequential system, okay? So each cylinder is fed with its own injector, right? This engine was applied in many other cars too, like the Mazda Axela or the Mazda 3, the Mazda 6 or the Mazda Atenza for Europe, the Mazda Primacy or the Mazda 5, the Volvo C30, Volvo S40, Volvo V50, Volvo V70, Volvo S80, mainly because of Mazda's partnership with Ford, which also had a stake in Volvo at some point. I'm sure, however, that these other manufacturers probably would customize the engines to their preference. So if you have a Mazda 2 liter engine, it's probably going to be similar to the Mazda Biante, so meaning the service will probably be the same or similar. Mazda MZR 2.0 DISI, same as GDI, same as FSI, same as. One of the things I discovered was many import customs officers did not know where the car jack is located and therefore declare it missing. However, it's just below the driver's seat. You just need to push the seat forward and lift a flap that's located below the driver's seat. You'll find it hidden so precisely under there. If you do not understand Japanese, when you're going through the user manual, just look out for the heading memo. That's where you find most of the important stuff. However, go through the whole manual. Hey, you've got Google Translate. You could easily find some important information that you probably do not know about. Good news, Mazda recommends using regular gasoline, meaning you do not have to spend so much fueling your car with high performance fuel like V-Power or fuel like that. However, try to use Shell or Total. They usually have some additives in their fuel to keep your engine cleaner and probably last longer. So to fill up the two-wheel drive version, the MZR 2.0 two-wheel drive, you need 60 liters of regular gasoline, and it must be unleaded. For the four-wheel drive, well, because of the axle that takes power to the rear wheels, you need 55 liters. Now, do not miss this. Mazda recommends you need to replace the fuel filter at 160,000 kilometers, which is approximately 100,000 miles. Yes, they have their reasons, guys. At least let a mechanic have a look at it and see how dirty it is. This little detail contributes to the longevity of the engine. Speaking of engine oil, Mazda recommends using their engine oil, which is the Golden Echo, which is a Japanese manufactured lubricant for Mazda. If you could grab a hold of this oil, do not let go. It should be the oil you should use to service your Mazda. However, after researching all over, I did not find so much information about the alternatives. However, most people do recommend Castrol engine oil. Just make sure you use synthetic engine oil, preferably Castrol. Highly recommended. If you can find the Golden Echo oil made by Mazda themselves, buy that. Before you buy though, take note of these specifications: 5W30 or 5W20. That's what Mazda recommends using in their engines. Depending on the country you may live in, however, I'll say this again: the oil most recommended out there, if not Mazda's oil, should be Castrol. I'm sure Castrol has got some great detergents and stuff like that that protect the engine better. So the manufacturer also recommends 0W20. However, it's not necessary for our region because we do not get temperatures below 8 degrees Celsius. So the 5W20 or 30 should be perfect. If you have the 2-liter direct injection 2008 model, you will need 4.3 liters of engine oil. The 3.9 liters shown in the instructions are the ones you put in if you are not changing the oil filter, which I'm confident you will change anyway. If you drive the Sky Active G, which is the 2009 models and up, use 4.2 liters of oil. Because the newer technology of automatically turning the engine on and off when stationary, say at traffic lights, some components will be a little different, as you're gonna start to see in the next recommendation. So Mazda says you should change the oil every 15,000 kilometers or every 12 months. However, that is if you live in certain cities, not in Africa, and you do not have to overwork the engine at all. If you live in Africa, East Africa, Uganda, where not all roads are paved, there's so much traffic jam and other driving challenges, well, I believe you fall under the category Mazda says lives under severe conditions. And under severe conditions, you need to change it every 6 months or after 7,500 kilometers. Okay, enough of the engine oil. 7.8 liters of automatic transmission oil for the 2-wheel drive version. If you drive the 4-wheel drive version, that even goes up to 8 liters of ATF. Mazda says use ATF-FZ transmission fluid for the 2-wheel drive model and ATF-M3 for the 4-wheel drive model. Notice here that Mazda does not say Mazda oil, but genuine oil. So when buying lubricants, take note of these specifications. This is what will make your gearbox happy. Now, this piece of info is for those that have the 4-wheel drive Biante. If you drive the 2-wheel drive, I suggest you keep watching because you might help somebody who has a 4-wheel drive version. The differential is that spherical unit at the back that transfers power from the engine to the rear wheels. Mazda recommends using long life hypoid SAE ATW90 lubricant for that unit. Use exactly 1 liter. Again, since we are under severe conditions, being Africa, Uganda, Mazda recommends changing it every 60,000 kilometers. Mazda recommends that you use genuine ATF M3 oil for the power steering system as well. So use exactly 820 mils, guys, 820 mils. Always check to make sure you put oil just up to the point labeled full, and that will help you. Where you see the label full, that's 820 mils. Mazda doesn't say when to change it. I guess you do not need to until the point you probably need to buy a new steering rack. Brake fluid, Mazda says use .3 brake fluid. No specific brand suggested, and being a used car, you need to change it every 2 years. A good mechanic said, keep your car cool. Keep it cool. Funny. I just came up with that. And Mazda is keen on keeping their cars cool. They recommend that every 2 years you flush it all out and replace it. If you're using Mazda's coolant, it's called long life, golden. Then you can do that every 4 years. Now, just how much coolant do you think this car will take in? 4? Maybe 5? Maybe 6 liters? No. 8.3 liters. Guys, that's crazy. If you have the 2009 model and above with the Skyactiv G tech, well, that gets even higher. If it has no AC at the back, well, you need 8 liters of coolant. That's not so bad. But wait, if you have got AC at the back, you need 8.9 liters. That's some serious weight the car has. If you add the 7 point something liters of oil for the transmission. Anyway, when you drive it, you will appreciate the little details the manufacturer paid attention to, like the cool AC. If you haven't watched my in-depth review of the car, by the way, click the link right there. Mazda has a recommendation for the wiper washer fluid too. 2.5 liters of washer fluid. Most people just fill them. However, the manufacturer says add until the full mark. The alternator belt recommended is a self-adjusting type that Mazda suggests when time comes to have it replaced, replace it with the same specification of belt that you just removed. Remember, it's the self-adjusting type. Speaking of air cleaners or air filters, Mazda suggests that under severe conditions, well, guys, I already said that, we are under severe conditions 24/7. Change it every 25,000 kilometers. A lot of people change the air cleaner at every service, mainly because we have a lot of dust. By the time you take your car in for a service at 7,500 kilometers, you'll find that it has already sucked up enough dust to need replacement. Mazda even suggests changing it after 50,000 kilometers. That's not possible. In other countries, maybe. Mazda doesn't recommend any brands for air cleaners, so I guess you can get one available. However, if it's too cheap, it's probably not very good. Spark plugs, guys. Now, this may not be a very big issue for you. Just buy some cheap compatible plugs, put them in. If the car starts and runs properly, we're good to go. Sounds good. However, you might regret it. You see, when you use spark plugs that are not recommended by the manufacturer, you can compromise fuel efficiency because sometimes the plug may not well spark. That will confuse the car computer and it will make it cause the ignition coils to behave differently to compensate for the misfires. In the long run, you get a check engine light and your mechanic will tell you, hey, you need a new ignition coil. Now that will be the beginning of some major issues. Well, unless you replace all the coils at once. Don't you see that you are already spending more on maintaining the car just because of a recent cheap fix? Well, I'm no mechanic, guys, so let me know if I'm wrong. I'll appreciate it. So if you have the 2008 model 2-liter engine without Skyactiv technology, you'll need genuine NGK spark plugs with the specifications on the screen. You can pause the video and take a screenshot or write it down. If you drive the Skyactiv models, you have two options to choose from. Again, you can pause the video, take a screenshot, or write down the specs of the plug you will need. You can do some research to find out which ones are being made today by NGK or Denso. Let's go to battery. Guys, these are manufacturer recommendations. So follow these instructions if you want your car to last longer and take you places without dying on you all of a sudden. For the 2-liter 2008 model without the Skyactiv tech, you will need to replace the battery with the 55D 23L with a 55 amp hour battery. Now, because of the Skyactiv model, that is a 2009 model onwards, with this I-stop technology which turns the engine off when stationary and automatically restarts the engine when you release the brake, you need a special type of battery called the Q85. This battery is usually used in cars with start-stop technology because of its ability to cater to the electronic needs of these sophisticated engines. Now, Mazda suggests you use their battery. However, it might not be easy to find in our country, but I'm sure if you check around the city, you cannot fail to find one. If you choose to use an ordinary battery rather than the Q85, your I-stop system may not work very well. Try to use manufacturer recommendations to give your car a long life guide. The tires Mazda recommends are okay. However, most people end up buying bigger tires, not recommended by Mazda, to give the car a little more clearance, since, like I said at the beginning, we have a lot of uneven roads, bumps, some of which are not paved. A higher clearance is preferable. And it is a habit that you will see in most East African countries. Since a lot of people cannot afford SUVs and the high taxes on them, they opt to buy small cars and jack them up to cope with the crazy roads in some areas. So every 5,000 kilometers, switch up the wheels. Move the rear wheels to the front in a crossed manner. The rear wheel moves to the rear left wheel moves to the front right, and the rear right wheel moves to the front left, and the front wheels just move back as they are. So guys, thanks again for hanging out with me and watching this video until the end. Please like, subscribe, share the video with anybody who has these cars, and help a friend out. Catch you guys in the next one.